Podcast. In conversation with musicians from the UK jazz scene. And now your hosts, Rob Cope and Dan Farrant.
Hello and welcome to the Jazz Podcast. I am your host, Rob Cope, and with me today is Dan Farrant.
Hi Rob, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you, lads?
Seems like it's been a little while.
Yeah, it's actually
How
only
long's
been
it been?
2 weeks, I think.
Oh, it's been glorious, hasn't it?
Well, 2 weeks of peace, I know. For everyone involved in this show, a glorious 2 weeks off.
It's like a holiday.
Yeah. The idea that making a podcast is ever not a holiday, though.
Yeah, true.
I don't know. It's
Also, thanks for the heads up about this recording. You gave me adequate notice.
A new policy. 24 hours notice. It's incredible.
Yeah. How are you doing? What's going on? What's new? What's happening? Jazz.
In the world of jazz, oh my goodness, I have actual genuinely useful news for once.
This is a first.
But you might want to sit for this.
Okay.
I have a gig.
No.
Yes.
Where?
It
Tell
should
us
actually
more.
be really cool. It's on Tuesday the 15th of October, so it's really soon. It's near King's Cross at the Bloomsbury Festival. The event is called, maybe I should actually... Here we go, Mirroring the Moon.
Mirroring the Moon.
And they have a big, like a giant replica of the moon, which we shall play.
With your face on.
We'll play the gods of Apollo underneath this moon.
This is great news.
Yeah, it should be cool. There's like talks, and there's like contemporary dance, and yeah, it's only £6 if you book online.
Great.
Lord.
What's the link? Where do we send people to?
If you go on like bloomsburyfestival.org.uk, then there's a list of events.
Okay.
2019 festival and events.
Put it in the description of this episode.
I shall do that. Playing a duet with Elliot Galvin, who's going to bring some synths with him.
Great.
Should be pretty cool. But in much more important news, we've been working our way through Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, welcome.
Yes, we're up to season 4, Dan. We're making some serious headway.
It just gets better and better.
We watched one last night where someone keeps pooing the bed. And they have the whole episode is just figuring out who it was.
Who did it? Who pooped?
Yeah, exactly.
Poop is funny.
Poop is funny.
Yeah.
And it is.
It just gets better as well. Yeah. I'd say Always Sunny. Season 1 is good. It's fine. Season 2, Danny DeVito shows up.
Yeah.
Happy Days gets better, and then it just each season steps up and up, and then I'd say around season 6, it becomes hockey stick. It starts to go vertical, and it just starts.
I've not heard that before. I like that. Hockey stick gets vertical.
It kind of like the curve, just kind of suddenly, like a hockey stick. You'll enjoy. You'll enjoy.
I'm excited, Dan. Yes.
So great show.
And what have you been up to? Anything going on?
No, I've just been a few gigs and then writing onto my 5th book now. So just trying to get that done.
Is that the grade 5 theory?
Yeah, doing grade 5 now.
How long will it take?
I'm hoping I'll have it done in 2 weeks' time, actually. I'm working pretty hard on it.
Yeah, nice work. You sent me an image by mistake last week of...
Oh, yeah, I did.
And I assume this was across all your websites, but needless to say, there's a lot of engagement.
Yeah, that was... I can't remember what image I accidentally sent you.
It was one that's sort of showing the total clicks and impressions.
That was... Yeah,
There's things here, average CTR, but
we'll
I always
talk about that off the air, maybe.
Okay. I thought CTR meant Crash Team Racing. So.
No, click-through rate.
Oh, wow. Well, no, the point of this is that, of course, you sent it to me and I was like, that's weird. I don't understand any of this. Why would Dan assume that I know about what numbers mean? And then it said, oops, wrong image, meant to send you this one.
Yes.
And so was this an email?
That was an inquiry I had.
Hi, Dan.
Yeah.
Rob Cope has mentioned long ago and guaranteed that you are the best magician he ever saw, smiley face, full stop. What a great inquiry.
Yeah, I mean, there was a little extra to the inquiry asking me if I'm free on a date, but
that's brilliant.
I didn't think I needed to bore you with all that.
No.
But yeah, I mean, she didn't respond to me, so I couldn't have been. You couldn't have described me as that good. She didn't reply.
That's great. Like additional. Wait a minute. What? They didn't reply?
Didn't reply, Rob.
Oh my God. Well, then that's on them, isn't it? What can we do? What more can we possibly do?
I mean, you need to get back in touch with her.
Who knows? Maybe they listen to the jazz podcast and they've got
no. Jazz podcast.
There's a lot of plays at SK9, my mum's postcode.
Is that right?
All right. Let's have a listen to Bryony Jarman-Pinto. Bryony Jarman-Pinto, welcome to the Jazz Podcast.
Thank you. Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Just in London life, you know.
Mm-hmm. Whereabouts in London do you live?
I'm based in the southeast in New Cross.
Oh, nice. That's a cool place to live.
Yeah, no, there's lots happening, so it's good.
How long have you lived there for?
I've only been there here about 2 years now. I moved down to London, and this was the first place I moved to, so it's I clearly like it. I've stayed.
Yeah. So, tell us who you are for our lovely listeners.
Okay, well, I guess I'm Bryony Jarman-Pinto. I'm a singer. I'm a singer and songwriter, and I've just brought out my debut album on True Thoughts.
Oh wow! What's your album called?
It's called Cage Aviary.
Amazing. How long have you been working on it?
Okay, so it was quite a long time, about 3.5 years. So yeah, a real labour of love.
Nice.
I was doing it with my friend Worker, who also known as Tom Lear, also known as Worker. Music with him to begin with, and then we made this album together, which is really exciting to have it out now and to see how people are reacting to it.
When was it released then, your album?
About 2.5 weeks ago, maybe a bit more now. It was the 16th of August.
Amazing. So let's go back in time a bit and like, how did you get into singing?
So singing has just been surrounded by and been doing. You know, my parents are musicians, and my mum is particularly, you know, she was running jazz choirs when I was a young child. So I've always really been involved with it, and it's just been there. It's always been a part of me and my upbringing.
Are both your parents musicians?
Yeah, my dad, he plays the bass and other instruments like the flute, and my mum is also multi-instrument jazz musician, singer, pianist. She also plays the accordion at times too.
Amazing. I'd love to play the accordion. It just looks so cool.
I mean, it looks cool. I'm not so keen on the sound. I think, you know, there are times when you're like, yes, I'm really glad that, you know, like if you're at a ceilidh or something, but I don't know, when it's in the living room, it's a bit much sometimes.
Wow, yeah, I guess it's louder than it looks, the accordion.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And especially learning the accordion. When I was I think I must have been 15 or 16, that's when she decided she was going to teach herself the accordion. That was like, a few months of, let's stay out of the living room.
So did you, like, where did you learn the majority of the stuff that you know that you then, like, put onto this album of yours?
Where did I learn what,
yeah,
sorry?
well, like, did you like study music how have you I just want to know how you got here, really.
Yeah, okay. So I didn't study music formally. I didn't go to university to study music. I studied painting and printmaking at university.
Oh, nice.
But it was, I mean, completely different, but at the same time, you're using your creativity, and similar in that sense. So you're constantly sort of like dipping into that creative mind and struggling about it.
Yeah.
But musically, I participated in what would you call it? So it was this thing called Blue Jam, which my mum actually runs, and it's a youth project for young people, but also community based as well. So it's really all ages too. And every Saturday, me and my friends would just basically go create our bands, write music together, like perform things, and that's really where my musical education came from, which for me feels really good. It gave me that confidence to perform and to be able to improvise, something that I feel really strongly about. I feel like musicians, improvisation is one of the easiest ways to access music. Be really encouraged for everybody to have a go and not feel that like anxiety and nervousness about stepping up and just like letting yourself create on the spot.
Yeah,
really important.
So that's something you did a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. and it was fun. It was never really something that was too nerve-wracking because it's something I'd been doing from a young age. So yeah. And I think I just generally that was something that I opened up easily. So
okay, so then how did you write the tracks that are on your album? Where do they come from?
So so Tom was co-writing with me, and they sort of all came in different ways. So some of them I would be starting myself and doing it the usual way, getting some chords, improvising a melody, adding the lyrics, that sort of thing. Or sometimes Tom would send me something and I would write over the top of that. And a lot of it, I guess, is lyrically, it's all coming from. So I was writing it in Edinburgh, and I was feeling I was spending quite a lot of time on my own with this music. So the lyrics are really quite pondering, might be where there's like I'm doing a lot of questioning when I'm writing the lyrics, a lot of questioning about the environment, about political issues that are affecting me and people around me, but also more personal things, like the love for my family and also the people around me, relationships. It's all that sort of thing that everybody sort of questions when they're on their own a lot.
Yeah, of course. And then how long did it take then to write the album, do you reckon?
So I guess we wrote it in we wrote it in segments, I guess, because we would send each other songs back and forward, and they might take like a month or two to really finalize. Or like it might be that we started at the beginning and then didn't come back to it until like right at the end when we were like, oh, actually let's do this like that. So that those 3.5 years were a real mix of sometimes us really getting on it, meeting each other, going to in Cumbria, having a writing session, or there were times where maybe we hadn't done anything on it for like a month or two. So it's really quite sporadic and just in around our lives. I was doing a lot of youth work and working in a theatre at the time, and obviously Tom was working on his own music as well.
Yeah. So who else is in the band then on the album?
So on the album we've got my Jeff Bartholomew. He plays the trumpet solo at the end of Company. It's something that I really wanted to happen. I was like, I really, really want you to be on this album. I love the way you play it. I want you to solo and create something beautiful. So I'm really glad that happened. And then we've also got Ben Watt and Duncan Horn, who are contributing to the sax solos and the flutes.
Nice. Ben Watt and I went to college together.
Oh, really?
Provided this is the Ben Watt that lives in Manchester.
It is that one. Yeah.
Yes, excellent. Oh, lovely. I wondered who was playing saxophone.
Yeah, Ben Watt sax every weekend.
Great. Yeah, he sounds lovely.
Yeah, he really brings those melodies and riffs alive, and his improvisation is just wonderful.
Yeah.
And then we've got Matt Davis playing the drums. He's just he's a fantastic drummer, and he's also been playing the drums with me in our live performances.
Yeah.
Because my live performances are set up a bit differently. It's all live. A conga player called Vanessa Rani Chatagoon, and also keys player who is Dwayne Kilvington, also known as. And then we've got Ali Lloyd on the bass. So it's slightly different instrumentation to how it is on the album. And then also Matt Davis joins us on the kick drums when a big enough stage to fit everyone.
Yeah. So like, what else do you do just out of interest? Like, what's the week like for you when you're not like doing things with the album and this project?
Well, my week is different to how it used to be. So the past 2 years in London, I've been working in a school, a school for children with autism, and I've been an ABA tutor, which is completely different to obviously performing music. But I was incorporating music into the learning, doing a lot of singing and I was sort of doing a sing and sign choir for a while, but I recently left that job so that I can pursue music more and really make it sort of fit in with the performing and with the touring. So right now I'm not really sure what my week looks like. I will be doing some school choirs and also some other community music work, which is sort of what I want to get myself really involved in. Teaching music to, young people who can't access it as easily, or, need that extra encouragement to just go for it. That's what, like I had, I guess, with Blue Jam. That's, for me, that's the best way you can, really involve yourself in music and really, let it stick when you do it through fun, not just through lessons,
Yeah. That sounds amazing. And singing's just wonderful because it's so, like you said, it's super accessible because you don't have to have the boundary of an instrument at all, Yeah. It sounds like a great thing to get to do. Although your old job sounds amazing too, working in a school for children with autism.
Yeah, no, it was one of those experiences, will take with me and quite cherish, but it just didn't fit around the release of the album, and then wanting to be able to tour the band. So and also you need to give your whole self over, and I was aware that actually my passion was in the music, and I want to teach, but I want to teach music and I want to teach singing, and I want to much more holistic way, outside of the education system so much, more as an extracurricular thing.
Yeah, totally. So let's talk about the music video, because I've watched the video for Sun-Kissed. It's amazing. It's first of all, it's such a cool track. We'll play it at the end. And but how do you make a music video? Who do you find? How does it even happen?
Yeah. Well, the first video that I made was for Saffron Yellow, and actually me and my boyfriend made it together as a sort of do it yourself, let's see if we can be cool music producers and music producers. Really fun. And I spent a lot of time editing And then at the end of it, I was like, yeah, that was fun, but I think I would like a professional to get involved with this.
Right.
Just because, it's a lot of work and a lot of like going on YouTube. How do I do this on Premiere Pro?
Oh God, I know. I made a film last year, and I basically spent like 6 months on YouTube. Like tutorials. it's hard.
Absolutely.
It's a painful experience. So did you then reshoot it all with a professional and re-edit the video?
No. So Saffron Yellow was the first one we did.
Oh,
and then
of course.
Yeah, so Sunkist, a producer called James Gunn, and I got in touch with him because he got in touch with True Thoughts. I had a look at some of his stuff that he'd done, and I was just like, yes, I really like this. I really like, the style that he's using.
Mm-hmm.
And for Sunkist, quite a small budget, quite a very short amount of time. I think I gave him like 2 weeks, which isn't very fair. And we just went up to Hillyfields Park in Brooklyn and shot it up there. And it's just brilliant. I really love it. And it was nice because, I could give him some of my ideas. He had lots of his own ideas, and he just brought all this film that I just don't have. So especially with the, in Sunkist, the film, the music video, it's a very wide lens.
Yeah.
So it's a real strip of imagery, which I love. And it's just something I would never have thought of. And we were just talking, as I was saying earlier, this morning to him about our next video for Sweet Sweet. They're all beginning with S. And we want to use that same, because it feels like it works really well, and it would be nice if it became a bit of a signature for the videos that are coming in this album.
Sorry, what is it you'll use again? The lens? The like wide angle effect?
Yeah, it's like a really... Yeah, so it just makes it super, super wide. Yeah. It's quite filmic, I guess.
Yeah, it is. It looks like you're looking at a cinema screen.
Exactly, but like a really wide one.
Special widescreen cinema.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So how did you find True Thoughts then? That's the label that you're released on.
Yeah. Well, so I was singing with Tom Lee, a worker.
Mm-hmm.
I was signed to True Thoughts. And we created the song Sidestepping. And obviously True Thoughts were like this. Let's chat to the singer and see what she's up to. So I was basically, I don't know, it was very easy. And just sort of happened where they said, look, we really like what you're doing, we like your sound, would you be interested in signing to us and creating an album? So obviously, yes, that would be really cool. It's not really something that I had thought about. For me, music was still very much a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really enjoying what I was doing with Tom. I was also, living in Edinburgh, trying to think about what do I want to do in my life? What's my career direction? And music wasn't one of them. It was still very much this thing of, this is what I do because I love doing it, but I don't think I could make money from it. And now it's totally on its head. And now I'm like, okay, well, this is my, and I need to figure out how to make it work and stay alive and stuff.
Yeah. I love figure out how to stay alive. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's a big part of it. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
Oh, it's something that you get into because you love doing it. And I think that's one reason why I really, want to teach singing more and teach it more, sort of facilitate a community-based setting sort of way, because it's a way of continuing to do what I love and also being able to financially support myself. that's a hard thing to figure out, how to do that, especially when you're living in London. It's very expensive.
Yeah, it's the worst, this balance. And I feel like if you don't have that side of it sorted, it's really hard to be creative because you're just too busy worrying.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's finding that time to like sit down and actually like give yourself a writing session. That's another reason why I've sort of decided to go down this freelance route, just because it will give me a lot more time, and hopefully I'll be able to like and organize myself well enough that I will be able to give myself writing time.
I'm certain that will happen.
Yeah.
You're right though. You can't you need to be able to just take a day off whenever you need one, I took a job once where I couldn't do that. It was only 2 days a week, but it was really scary to think there was a few things I was like, if I miss that because of this job, I'm going to be really annoyed.
Yeah. I think that's definitely the difficulty, isn't it? It's being able to find a job that pays you well enough to not necessarily 5 days a week in it, because that's very difficult to work 5 days a week and then also do gigs at the weekend or write at the weekend or make all those contacts at the weekend. You just don't have any else.
Yeah.
Which is what I was doing for the past 2 years with the school, and now it's like, no, it's find the work that's going to pay me, that is really contributing to my career aspirations, and give myself time. It's quite a lot to ask, I think.
It is, but it can be done. It's just, I don't know, for me, every September I have to readdress this balance because it's always tipping one way or the other, It's never it never stays perfect for very long before it gets messed up again.
Yeah. Right now I'm in that lovely honeymoon stage of freelance. I've got so much freedom.
Yeah.
We'll see how I am in
Yeah. So what is it that made you decide then to come down from Edinburgh to London?
Yeah, so I was in Scotland for 8 years in total because I was studying in Glasgow, and I moved over to Edinburgh for 4 years. And, I really loved it there. I had my dad's family lived up there. Well, they still do live up there. And so it was just really nice being able to spend time with them. And also Edinburgh's just beautiful. And it's, I would happily move back. But I was finding that I was ready for a change of,
Yeah.
And also the opportunities that London offers. It's just, there's so much more going on. So basically there were lots of reasons for the move, and not so much because I didn't like Edinburgh, because I loved Edinburgh. I was sad to go.
Yeah.
But I was ready, You don't want to necessarily stay in the same place forever, And also my boyfriend lived in London, so I was like, yeah, I'll go move down with him.
That's always good.
Yeah, it's a bit too far, Edinburgh to London.
That's a hard.
Do you know
one.
what I mean? That's a bit of a long distance. Yes.
That is. When you talk about long distance relationships, that's up there. That's a really long way. So what's coming up then for the album and for your projects?
So we've got a mini tour which we are just finalising. Actually, there should be dates coming up should be coming up very, very soon, probably by the end of this week.
Oh, great. So by the time this show is released, there will probably be dates that listeners can have a look at. Yeah,
definitely. We've got shows in Brighton for True Thought's birthday. That's in November. And then we've also got shows in Manchester and Leeds. And also to Kenilworth, which that's actually at the end of this month, for a lovely international festival, which should be really fun. And I've forgotten. I'm just going through my head of all. Oh, and we've another gig in London as well.
Oh, great!
Can't forget about London.
No, of course not. That's all really exciting. Do you think you'll write another album at any point?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm very ready for another album. I've already sort of having a go at some ideas, and I'm now that I've got all this free time, I'm really going to sit down and start writing some new stuff, especially from my experience of seeing how long it took me the first time. I don't want it to take that long for the second one, so I will be really pushing myself to be quite what's the word, disciplined.
Does it get easier to, like, as you've done an album, do you think it's then easier to do the next one because you've got all the experience of the speed of things and how long it takes and all the processes involved with, like, getting it released and everything?
Yeah, definitely. Like, obviously there's knowledge there that I just didn't have to begin with. I was like, I finished the song, can we release it? And then it's like, no.
Amazing.
So, obviously I've got that, complete naivety. But also I think, now I have I'm much more willing to write things that are rubbish.
Right.
And to, see them through to the end, because you're just less precious about it this time. Whereas when I was writing Cage Aviary, I got really precious about every song because I'd thrown everything into that song. And when it wasn't quite working, I was, really, I guess you sort of take it out on yourself.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. I don't think traumatic's the word, but you are affected by it.
Yeah.
And this time I think I can, really be a bit more playful and a bit more free with what I create, because I'm less precious. I know that there will that comes, so I don't have to like hold on to things so tightly.
Yes. Well, it's an amazing sound you've got, and I feel like you've made this podcast much more trendy with your presence. So I must thank you. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm going to play Sun-Kissed so that we can bask in its beauty.
Could it be another day with nothing more to say? Or could it be another time with everything on our minds? But all I really want to do, to lie in the sun with you. Yeah, all I really want to do, to lie in the sun with you. It could feel so good. Could it be what we need? A second of symmetry. Could I ask for something more than what we had before? But all I really want to do, lie in the sun with you.
Well done. Next episode is going to be Malcolm Edmondson.
I was going to ask when we're going to have his episode. So this is great.
Yeah. Finally. We've sat on this one for a while, but it's time.
Yeah. It was nice to have something in the bag to pull out, was it?
It is nice to have these in the bag. I feel like I've managed to get all the way through a half term of school teaching with the episodes we had, which in my small life is a big deal because it's quite hard
Yeah.
to pin people down right now. And then October half term rolls around, and of course there will be literally 1 or 2 interviews. You know,
Yeah.
it'll be a busy time for the pod.
I'm filling it out.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Who else have we got to look forward to on the radar?
you know, Tim Boniface, the saxophone player.
Oh yeah, I used to play with Tim all the time.
Yeah, here we go. Tim's got a new album coming out.
Great. I love Tim. I haven't seen him in probably about 7 years.
Oh, really? I actually only met him a couple of months ago.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Tim's great fun.
Yeah. So,
Cool. I'll say hi.
I certainly will do. That's my
I'll
next.
have to think of some stories for you to ask about.
Oh yeah, I like that idea a lot. That's fantastic. All right,
Anyway.
good luck, lads.
Cool.
Well, it's been a pleasure. You've been listening to the Jazz Podcast, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.